Hey, for anybody having problems for exercise 5B, so if the previous video was too confusing, I'm going to give you the short version. You're going to go to introcomputing.org, right up here, introcomputing.org, and you're going to want to go down to Image 2 Code Exercises. Now, one thing to point out, and I just realized this, is when you go to Code, that's a separate link than Exercises. So if you go to Code, you're going to see all this stuff, and this tries to explain what you're supposed to do. And it shows you pixel.setRed. You can look at that, but I find that a little confusing, this whole interface. What I'd recommend doing is go to Exercises. So this is a separate link, but you're going to click on Exercises, and your page should look like this. Now, you're not going to see anything over here, and it's not going to have any code done for you. You're going to have to put code after this, and it doesn't matter which one you use here. You could just hit run and you're going to see kind of this blank X. And then when you go here, when you put in your first code, just to practice, you could go here and put pixel dot set red, and then you're going to set red to 255. And I'll put a semicolon here. All that's doing is it's going to pixel 00. It's making a variable called pixel, and it's saying get pixel 00, which is this one here, and then you're going to use the variable again and say, okay, the pixel that we just got at 00, we're going to set it to red, or set its red channel to 255, and it's going to turn the red channel here to 255. Now keep in mind that when the pixel is black, that means the R, the G, and the B, they're all down to 0. So when you turn the red to 255, that's going to bring the red up. Now that's not going to work the same when you go over here, and you'll see that in a moment. But if you just go here and hit run, that'll turn that pixel to red. And again, you could use any one of these, and you could also stretch this out. So again, when you go to Intro to Computing, make sure you go to Exercises. And when you go in, you're going to be putting code after here, and you could just use pixel each time. You don't have to use the UL and UR and all that stuff. If you just use pixel each time and put pixel dot set red, and then eventually you're going to have to put the green and the blue up to a certain number from 0 to 255, then you'll be able to do that. So I'll just hit run, and there it is. And again, we're going to be setting the ones in here, and you'll see that coming up next. But what you're going to do then is you're going to target these. This is at over 4, down 4. So it's, I think it goes XY. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes down 4. So this is over 4, down 4. This is over 5, down 4. This is over 4, down 5, and this is over 5, down 5. So those are the coordinates in there, and you can do it once and then just copy it. So for example, if you're going to do 4, 4, which would be this one, and if you try to set it to red and you try it again, it doesn't work. That's because they're all white. They're all set to 255. So what you have to do is you have to put all 3 values in here, and those are just RGB. And once you do this once, you can just copy it. So I'll do RGB, and meaning I'll do blue. So it's doing red, green, blue. Now if they're all 255, it's going to be white, so nothing's going to happen. But if I set green down to 0 and blue down to 0, then it's going to be red. Now we didn't have to do that there because they were already down to 0, but because they're all white here, they're all 255, they're all on. Now if I wanted it blue, I would just have to put 255 here and put everything else down to 0, and I'll run it. And then if I wanted this one at yellow, for example, doesn't matter what color you do, I'm just going to copy those 4 lines and paste it. And you can grab this, move it down, make sure you always have print image at the end. Now for this one, I'm going to do over 5, down 4. So it's over 5 and it's down 4. So I'll make this one 5, 4. And this one I'll make yellow. So you could mix red and green to make yellow. It doesn't sound like that would make yellow, but it would. So I'm going to mix yellow and green and put them all up to 255 and put blue down to 0. And then I'll run it. And that's what that does. And then if I want to do another one, I'll just copy this whole block again, paste it, and this time I'm going to do 4, 5. So I'm going to do over 4, down 5. It's this one down here. So I'll do 4, 5. And you don't even have to do that upper left, lower left. If you notice, I'm just keeping the pixel name the same, and it's just rewriting the name pixel each time. So it's doing it again, it's doing it again. So it's re-identifying a pixel, coloring it, re-identifying a pixel, color it, re-identifying a pixel, and coloring it. And that's why we don't have to actually use those upper left, lower left. Even if you do, that's fine. It's more, it makes more sense. But now if you do this, if you want this one like a green color, you could leave that at 255 and put the other two at 0. And you could run that. Now that's green. Now if you want this one purple down there, I'll do one more. I'll copy this, paste it, and that would be 55. So this is 55, this one down here. Now if you wanted a purple, you could kind of mix red, and maybe you can mix a darker red. Instead of 255, maybe do it like 150, and mix it with blue and make that 150, and take the green out. And then I'll run that. And there's a purple color. If you want it brighter, you could put more red in it. Now there's kind of more red in it. If you want this blue a little brighter, you could brighten up the blue and put more blue. Now it's going to be a brighter purple, and you could keep doing that. And you could, if you put these numbers all the same, they'll make a gray color, whatever, but that's all you're going to do. You're going to have this initial setup, but then you're going to use this pixel dot set red, set green, set blue, and just change the colors and change the coordinates. So that's all you're doing, and keep print image at the end, and then you just hit run when you're done. So that's all it's doing. So if the other video is confusing, this is all you're doing here. And I don't care what colors you use. You can mix up any colors you want. Hopefully you kind of understand how they work when they're all on their white, when they're all off their black, and then you could kind of mix variations in there. And then they're not like, ink colors. They work a little bit different. That's why red and green makes yellow. And if you did that, it would make brown if you're using paint, but it doesn't work like that with pixels because it's using light. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Hopefully it clears up things a little bit. If you were having problems with this or you haven't done it, your finished product should look like this. And then you're just going to copy this code and paste it in your comments when you're done. So then you're just going to go to 5B, and even if it's closed, even if you didn't do it, just go here and add a comment and go back here, copy all this code. Just put your cursor in here anywhere. You could highlight it, but you can also just click your cursor in here and do Control A if you're on Windows and Command A on Mac. I'll do Command A on a Mac, and then just copy it and do Control C on Windows or Command C on Mac. I'll copy all that code. And then just go here, and you don't have to do anything but just paste it in your comment. Add comment, just paste it in here and hit save. And that's it. You don't even have to put your image in there because I can look at the code and tell if you did it right. Or I can just copy your code and go here and paste it in and run it and see what it looks like, because some people did some other things to it. So just wanted to point that out. That's all you have to do for this one. So I don't know if the first video made things a little more complicated, but that's all you have to do when you go in here. You're just kind of using these things and then copying them, pasting them, to set red, set green, set blue for these things in the middle. Some people did other stuff as well. You can do whatever you want, but you're targeting these coordinates are the 4 in the middle, and these are changing the colors each time. Make sure you have the semicolons, and make sure you just have one print image at the end.